Hey YouTube, it's Marita, and welcome to another edition of the Nurse Lounge. And in this edition, we're going to talk about staying true to yourself as a nurse. So if you want to know what I mean by staying true to yourself, then stay tuned. All right, so we're going to jump right in. So, what do I mean by staying true to yourself? I have a note card here. As you know, I like to take notes and keep myself on track. So, you'll see me looking down from time to time just to make sure that I am on track with what I am saying. All right, so when I say staying true to myself, especially specifically in nursing, it's I guess it's going to be a story time of sorts. So kind of get ready for that. When I come to story time, it's basically something I want to share my experiences with in terms of my own discovery about who I am as a nurse and who I've become as a nurse as a result. So if you are new to my channel, my name is Marita and welcome to the Nurse Lounge. And on this channel, I basically have mostly nursing stuff, but from time to time, I do have fashion and beauty and things like that. But today is a nursing topic, and what I want to talk about is staying true to yourself as a nurse. So when I first started nursing, I guess my idea of what a nurse was or what she looked like, because I'm female, what she looked like was someone who held a certain moral compass value to herself. She carried herself in a certain kind of way. She spoke a certain kind of way. She did not mention things that, are native to her culture or native to the things that she likes to do. She kind of left that aside. And so what I'm here to tell you is that's very normal to do. But then I realized as I was getting older and, I've been a nurse for almost 15 years now. And now that I am 41, so this happened around 40, I had an epiphany, so to speak. And at 40, I just discovered or decided, not discovered, that I am going to be who I really am. And you're either going to like it or you don't. And at the end of the day, everybody's not going to like you. And so we have to come to terms with that. Everybody's not going to like you and you don't like everybody, and that's perfectly okay. So I want to share some things with you that I used to be and now what I am as a result. Or actually, I wouldn't say what I used to be. I've always been a certain person, but it's kind of like you put a mask on. And I will say that we all wear two different faces. We all wear masks. So don't think that I'm saying you're trying to change or kind of convert or anything like that. We all wear masks. We all should set some standards and have a sense of professionalism when we're on the job. But then when we're at home, we're kind of, more laid back. We're, just kind of more relaxed and things like that. So I want to talk about a few things that I have on my note card that I really am. But as time went on, I would try to put up this, I guess, front maybe that I was a certain kind of way and I didn't do certain things. And as a result, I didn't post certain things on Facebook because I didn't want people to know that I was at a certain concert and, just things like that. So we're kind of going to go through some of my own issues or stories, shall I say, about how I have dealt with or how I've decided to overcome or not even care anymore what people thought, because at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm going to be who I'm going to be. And it does not mean that I'm not a good nurse just because I have a life outside of nursing, if that makes sense. So first thing I'm going to talk about is professionalism. So I consider myself to be very, very professional. However, I do not, I speak my tongue, but very professional, meaning that if I have something to say, I'm going to say it. I will say it in a way that it's professional. It's not derogatory. I don't curse. I don't do things like that. But I will happily get my point across. I don't beat around the bush. It could be the Taurus in me. It could be just who I am. It could be a combination of that, or it could be what nursing has taught me. I would much rather deal with someone who's going to tell me exactly how it is, in a professional manner, mind you, than someone who beats around the bush and lies to me. And they smiled in my face the whole time. So I'm very much, you see what you get type of person. But what I discovered was that in nursing, I would try to kind of not censor it per se, but kind of, dumb it down a little bit. And I've been told, oh, you're an angry black woman, or you're this, you're that, or you don't know how to deal with this. You're intimidating. Well, I'm intimidating to the people who are weak. So if you are weak minded, if you have a narrow mind thought process, if your mindset is someone who is not one who wants to achieve things, then you will be intimidated by me, because I believe in certain things that have higher standards than a lot of people have. I feel like if you can believe it, you can achieve it. And so therefore, I don't have low standards for myself or for anybody else. I do not accept subpar from anyone else when it comes to patient care or for caring for me or my family. So I've been, known to come off kind of strong in that sense. But you know what? I've decided that I am who I am. Either you like it or you don't like it. And most people don't like it. The people who do like it are leaders, of course. They can handle it because they are actual leaders. If you're a follower, then you may have issues with that. But I've decided I'm not going to censor that anymore. I'm going to remain professional at all times. But at the same time, if I have an issue with a patient, not a patient, but a coworker, I will respectfully say in such a way that, hey, we're not going to tolerate you, like always leaving things for me to do or things like that. So, I'm learning that I need to be more, I won't say cognizant, but more direct, and letting people know that this is what I mean when I say this, that, and the other. I don't mean it in an ugly way, but that I want them to be mindful of how I feel. And so I will always be professional. I will maintain professionalism, but at the same time, that's just who I am at work. Now at home, in terms of professionalism, I don't really have a need to be professional. When it comes to my kids, this is, they're going to get what they're going to get. And when it comes to my demeanor, am I always standing up straight, chest out, shoulders back, head up? Of course not. I'm at home. I'm relaxed, type of thing. When I go out in public into stores, I consider myself pretty professional still. I treat people how I want to be treated in general. So I consider myself pretty much professional at home and or my personal life as well as at work. But at the same time, it's just a different type of professionalism. And I will say this, when I'm off the clock, I don't have to be as censored for sure at that point. So if you're going to cut me off in traffic type of thing, or you're going to sit there and skip a line, I can't stand if you're at the grocery store and they said the next person can come up and they came up behind you and they think they're next. I'm like, no, you were not next. I was next. And I will call you out on that. So, where I may not say something like, something like that. No, I would. At work, if someone's like, no, I'm sorry, this person was next. Unless it's an emergency, this person was next. I pretty much hold that standard pretty true. So, I kind of, maintain who I am majority of the time. The next one is how I dress. So, of course, in hospitals, we have to wear scrubs. So, I'm always wearing scrubs or whatever. I'm not the cutesy nurse. I always have a headband on to keep my hair back. I wear scrubs that fit. I did buy some new scrubs, matter of fact. I'm going to do a video probably tomorrow or sometime this week on my new scrubs so you can see what I'm wearing. But I'm not into, that type of thing. I do wear scrubs. I used to be one who buy all the latest scrubs, all the latest styles, this, that, and the other. I'm too old for that now. Just give me some comfortable scrubs that fit and I'm good to go with that. But how do I dress outside of work? This is where the issue was. So you see what I have on right now. Some cleavage showing, which I need to pull that up a little bit. But anyway, I'm comfortable. If I want to wear something that's low cut, I'm going to wear it. That's where I had issues with, throughout my nursing career until like last year. I was like, oh no, let me cover this up. Let me cover that up. Now I do go to a Christian school. So I will say you wouldn't see me post something that's going to show me half naked or something like that. I wouldn't do that anyway. But I'm very conservative for the most part, but I will show arms. I will show, some skin. But I used to not do that because nurses shouldn't dress like that. You should always uphold the standard of being a nurse when you're in uniform and out of uniform. And to a certain extent, yes. But if you want to wear certain things, wear them. If you have no qualms about showing your arms or showing some skin, then show it. It is what it is. So since I've turned 40, I just don't even care about that. About how, now being a mom, that's something different. I do care about how I dress when it comes to being a mom because I have girls and I have boys. And I want my boys to see what a woman should look like, what they should be looking for in a woman, but not where everything is hanging out type of thing. I want my girls to see how they should be taking care of themselves and how they should be representing themselves as a woman. But it doesn't mean you can't wear things where skin is showing or you can show a little cleavage or whatever you want to do. But, I'm not showing anything else, so to speak. So my dress has definitely changed, where I have went from very conservative things up to here, button collar and everything, because that's how a nurse should dress, to something like this, where if I'm going out and I want to wear something like this is what I'm going to wear, and I'm okay with it. I'm wanting to be who I am and being true to who I am. And being true to who I am does not mean I have to be collared, buttoned up, collared all the way up to here, because that's what certain standards, at least where I live at now, or where I work at, that's kind of what they uphold. They all look like that. If I want to wear Jordans, matter of fact, which I have like 2 or 3 pair of Jordans, my boys have Jordans, that's what I'm going to wear. If I want to wear heels, that's what I'm going to wear. If I want to wear sandals, that's what I'm going to wear. If I want to wear shorts, that's what I'm going to wear. If I'm going to the beach, and of course I'm going to wear, swim attire, that's what I'm going to wear. But when I go to work, I dress how I'm supposed to dress. Everything's covered. We have to have, we have to wear navy blue. And so I wear a white shirt underneath it. And I don't have any tattoos. I plan on getting one actually here soon. Getting a tattoo, but I was like, oh no, I can't show my tattoos. Well, now we're allowed to show tattoos at our job as long as it's not obscene. So I'm like, okay, so now we can show our tattoos. So now I'm going to get me a tattoo, but some people may say, oh, you're going to get a tattoo and you're a nurse. Yeah, I am. There's nothing wrong with that. Stay true to who you are. That's what makes us different. We can be educated. We can be melanated. We can be less melanated, and it doesn't make a difference what you look like, but stay true to who you are. As long as you're doing stuff that's legal. Let me put that disclaimer in there. I don't do anything that's illegal. So everything I do, what I'm talking about, has nothing to do with me running the streets or doing things illegal. It's more so about me staying true to who I am, my beliefs, my values, what I want to do. If I wanted to go to the club, that's what I wanted to do. As long as I'm not going to the club and then turn around getting up going to work, 2 hours later, ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't live that life anymore. So the next one is language. So what do I mean by language? We all talk that nurse jargon, medical language all the time when we're at the hospital or whatever setting you're in. There's nothing wrong with that. As a doctoral student, I definitely have a vocabulary that's higher than a lot of people's. Not higher than a lot of people's, but they should expect certain standards. You're going to talk a certain way. You're going to be a certain way. You're going to represent yourself a certain way. And that's to be expected when I'm in my professional arena. But at home, it's ain't and double negatives and everything else that I can say. I ain't going to do this, that, and the other. And I'm from the South, so I say y'all a lot. That's just what it is here in the South. So I'm not always prim and proper. I'm not prim and proper anyway. But I'm not always in terms of using the best language, making sure I have subject-verb agreement, making sure I'm not using double negatives. Not gonna, that's who I am when I'm at home. And people will say, you're getting a doctoral degree? And I say, I'm at home. So I am getting a doctoral degree, but I'm at home. I don't have to put on that, not want to say it's a front, but I don't talk like that all day, every day. I'm comfortable in who I am to know that I know when to turn that on and when to turn that off. So I'm going to say what I have to say. When I'm going to see, if I spoke to a CEO of a hospital, I would know how to address him or her. And they would never know that I say ain't, never, not gonna, whatever. But if I talk to someone of my patients, and my patients are like, okay, they want somebody they can relate to half the time. And when you're talking certain kind of ways, and I'm not telling you to change who you are. So that's who you are all the time. That's fine. But I work in a demographic of people who we don't use formal terms for certain things because they don't know what I'm talking about. Everybody's not as educated as you are. And so therefore we use layman terms for things. And if I say I'll be back, I'll say I'll be back in, a half hour or whatever. I'll say something like, and they're like, oh, okay, well, what time is that? I'm like, I have to tell them what time it is. I guess my point is be who you are. Your language. I'm not saying curse in front of people or in terms of patients or whatever. If you curse all the time, you are a sailor in terms of your mouth. So be it. If that's who you are, so be it. But you can't use that kind of language at work. So don't use it at work. But if that's who you are outside of work, so be it. Have a great time. Curse away. I'm not really a derogatory person, so I really don't curse a whole lot. But if you take me there, I can go there. But for the most part, I really don't use derogatory terms. Next, we're going to go to education. So I used to think people who had doctoral degrees or higher degrees, meant they had to always be a certain kind of way. And I want to be the person who true to who I am, obviously, but I want to be the person who I can have a doctoral degree. And, if you saw me at Walmart, because I'm at Walmart, I'm at the dollar store, I'm at family, I'm wherever I need to be, wherever I want to be, that's where I'm going to be. I don't want an education to change who I am. I don't want a degree, not an education. I don't want a degree to change who I am. I am who I am. I will be at Walmart today, Family Dollar tomorrow. I buy those Clover Valley cookies from the Dollar General store because some of them are good. I'm not one who's like, oh, you have this degree, you have to shop a certain place, you have to, eat certain things. No, I'm not privy to all that. I don't really care about all that. I like what I like. And if I don't like something, I don't like something. Education has nothing to do with it. I love to surround myself with like-minded people. A lot of my friends are people who they have degrees, they have houses, they have this, but they like to hang and have fun. That's kind of what I'm about. So I don't care about the education and the stuffiness of who you are. What I do care about is, can you relate to me as a person? Can we talk about the last concert we went to? Can we cut up and have fun? That's what it's about for me. It's not really about, flaunting to have a degree. And honestly, outside of the educational realm, people probably wouldn't even know. I'm lying. I'll take that back. People are going to know I have a doctoral degree because I'm working hard for this degree. I'm working very hard for this degree. People are going to know, but I wouldn't expect my friends to call me doctor, to call me that. It would be the same as it always was. But in my educational setting, then of course, or academia setting, of course, it would be Dr. Such and such. At the hospital, I still plan on working as a staff nurse. People are like, why would you do something like that? Well, how can you teach students effectively if you're not actually doing it in practice? So I don't mean I'm going to work full time in a hospital. I'm going to work PRN just like I already am doing. But, people have issues with that. Like, oh, you have all this education. Why would you do something like that? Because I want to. People don't understand that it's options. I have options, and that's all I really want is having options. So that's what I'm doing. Staying true to myself. I'm not following some type of mold or pattern in which if you do this, then you have to do this because that's what everybody else is doing. I just believe in doing what I want to do, and as long as I'm happy, I could care less what anybody else thinks. So the last one I have on here is nurse day off. So I used to think on your day off, like I was telling you before, you could do things. It was just that I wouldn't want people to know that I did things. I wouldn't want people to know, like my coworkers are all a certain race. All of them a certain race except for like me, okay? And I'm used to being the only minority or almost the only minority in a work setting. And I'm so used to it, I'm okay with it. But I find that when it comes to our culture, they don't understand a lot of it. So therefore, we find ourselves trying to conform to their culture by wearing certain hairstyles, or even, y'all know this is not my hair. It changes every video. So, but as an example, if I wear a straight wig, they're like, oh my gosh, your hair is so beautiful. It's so, because it looks like theirs. That's why they say that. But if I wear something different, like, oh, what did you do to your hair? I'm like, y'all know it changes every week. So I don't know why they act surprised when they see me coming in with a different hair every week or whatever, whenever they see me. But I almost felt like I couldn't be who I was because of the fact that I had to conform to a certain way. I had to talk a certain way. I couldn't go to certain activities because, oh, what would they say? Well, they don't pay none of my bills, number one. Number two, you can't live for other people. Stay true to who you are. As long as you're being legal, stay true to who you are. I've learned in my, almost 15 years in the game that I'm going to be who I am, and people are either going to like it or they're not going to like it. I can't help what I look like, and people like, oh, well, she's black. And I'm like, okay, so, and, I can't help what I look like. I can't help my mom and dad and got together, and this is what they come up with, okay? I can't help that, and neither can any of you all. None of you can help that either. We can't help what we look like, so why is that even an issue to people? But if you work in an environment in which I work in, you're going to see that you may start to conform to the majority. And when you start doing that, you are slowly losing yourself in the process. And next thing you know, you look at yourself, say 10 years later, like, who have I become? Who am I? And it took people's like, hey, you remember when we used to listen to this music? You remember when we used to listen to Pac? You remember when we used to listen to, who else we used to listen to? Just all this different music I used to listen to that I didn't anymore because of the fact that I'm like, oh, well, because I was in a certain environment. And I'm like, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee. So, it's country music here primarily. And I don't really listen to country music. But at the same time, they're all talking about, when, Taylor Swift or when, who's the other people? Blake Shelton, Garth Brooks comes to town. It's a conversation to have, but I can't join the conversation because why? Because I don't go to those kind of concerts. But when I'm up here talking about, let me think of somebody who I want to go see, who I just saw. When the Millennium Tour came, matter of fact, I just went to that that concert back in March. And when that came to town, they're looking at like crickets, like they don't know what I'm talking about. Like, oh, why would you go see them? Is what I'm getting. I'm kind of like, because that's who I wanted to see. It's like me asking, why would you go see Garth Brooks? Just because I'm not interested in that. That's not what this is about. We can all be who we are and not have to conform to one way or the other. I can like certain things about your culture or your beliefs. You can like certain things about mine, and we can still stay true to who we are. And I find that in nursing, especially for Black nurses who work in a predominantly white, uh, what am I trying to say? Their nurses, their colleagues are predominantly another, don't have to be white, but predominantly another race. You could be white working in a predominantly Black race, and you're going to start seeing how you feel different and how you're going to feel like you need to either conform or you're going to be the sore thumb standing out, so to speak. Well, that's how I am all the time. I'm always the sore thumb standing out. I always don't see things the way they see it. And that has nothing to do with skin color or whatever. It's just, we just do things differently. It's just how life is, and I just realized now that I'm, again, 41 now. I just had a birthday in end of April. I'm 41 now, that I have hit a point in my life at age 40 is when it started happening. That change started happening at age 40. I just don't care anymore. And so now I'm posting when I go to the Millennium concert. I'm posting when I go out to eat with my friends. I'm posting when I'm doing things with my sorority, who is an African-American sorority. I'm posting when I, go to certain museums, because I like museums. I'm posting things that whoa, this is a big thing. So I went to the African-American or museum in Birmingham, African-American Museum, whatever it's called, Civil Rights Museum in Birmingham, Alabama. And if you haven't been there, you should go. And we have one in Memphis too, where Martin Luther King was, where he was shot. And I posted that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if I post this, what are they going to say? Why, or when it comes to Black history, and I'm all about, I'm not against any of the race, but I am for mine, meaning that I want to uplift and encourage, because we have had so much negativity within our own race. We do it to each other, and we don't have anybody to help bring us up. And I feel like that's what I want to do, is bring us up. So when I say, oh, y'all, you need to go learn your history, you need to learn this, you need to learn that, you need to stay true to who you are. If you are someone who is from the hood and that's who you are, but at the same time you're educated, you know how phenomenal that is? You don't have to sit there and put on, now you may have to for an interview. You know how to dress for an interview. But if you wear Jordans every day, if you wear, if you wear whatever you wear every day, but yet you can put your scrubs on and you can be that nurse, be who you are. As long as you're not offended, or I would say hurting anyone else, as long as what you're doing is legal and you're not hurting anyone else, be who you are. And so I really wanted to share this with you, is that I'm learning through the process. I'm going to remain true to who I am. I go to a Christian school, but I'm not Christ-like all the time. I'm just not. There's times where I'm like, ooh, should I wear this? Should I wear that? I'm not Christ-like. I'm conservative when I go to class because of the fact that I want to respect the school that I go to. But at the same time, I may be, at a concert next week. Because that's just kind of life that I live. Again, not trying to, because I'm not a saint, and I'm not trying to come on here and try to portray as if I am a saint. I'm not I'm not someone who's holier than thou and trying to preach the Bible to you. But I am very spirited, and I do believe in higher beings and things like that. But that's me staying true to who I am. If I want to pray over my food because that's what we do, then that's what I want to do. But if you want to curse like a sailor because that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I may not like it, but that's just who you are. And we have to respect you for being who you are. So I just really, really, really want to do this video because I have lost myself in the process, and I'm here getting myself back finally. Being 40 plus at this point, you really don't care anymore. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care if you don't like the fact that I posted something. I just don't care. I don't care anymore. And I think for me, that is the best feeling to have, is when you do not care what other people think, while you still maintain integrity, while you still maintain your moral values and have a moral compass, when you still maintain your standards, and when you still care for the people that you care for, but at the same time, you want to show people that, listen, I can be educated. I can be whatever I want to be. If I want to use double negatives in a sentence, that doesn't mean I'm not educated. It does to the rest of the world, but it does not mean that for me. I just say how I say when I'm at home. So if y'all ever catch me on here saying, y'all, I'm not going to ever do X, Y, and Z, disregard it. Not because I'm not educated, because I'm well educated. I'm who I am when I'm not at work or when I'm not in front. If I was doing a formal presentation somewhere, that'd be different. But I don't look like this every day. I don't wear makeup every day. I don't dress up every day. A lot of times I'm wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt and my hair is wrapped. Typically that's how I am around the house because I got kids running around. I'm trying to, get dinner done, get my homework assignments done. That is my real life. So I'm always going to be true to who I am, and I'm going to put me first. And that's what I want to encourage you all to do, is stay true to who you are. And we have a lot of new nurses that are coming out here soon. And you're going to go through the same things I went through, where you try to conform and try to, and I think that's pretty natural to do, is to try to conform and be who they want you to be. But I guess my thing is, try not to lose yourself in the process, or once you lose yourself, realize it and get yourself back. So anyway, that's all I really want to talk about on this video. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them down below. Thumbs this video up if you liked it. This was just something that was on my mind and on my heart to talk about today. It's nothing that I wrote some notes down, but not really scripted per se. So I wanted to really talk about you being true to who you are, not losing yourself in the process. Like I have, like most people have done. Get yourself back. That is the big message here. Get yourself back. I'm up here looking kind of like a mess today. I had just been out with my friends celebrating my birthday still. It's a week later, but we're still celebrating my birthday. So, I'm just happy to, since I was already dressed, I figured, let me go ahead and do this video real quick. So I wanted to share that with you. Thanks so much for your time. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, like it. In the YouTube banner, you'll see where there are 2 IG logos. One is for my nurse page. One is for my plus size fitness or plus size journey or plus size makeup, beauty, fashion page, whatever it happens to be. Feel free to follow me on those 2 pages. I actually have email that I'll put in the box below, and you can email any questions you have. Until the next time, you all take care. Bye-bye.